This month's cookie is an all-time favorite of mine, and it's probably because I kind of developed it on my own. I love flavors of brown butter and toasted oatmeal, and this is a brown butter oatmeal cookie that I just cannot resist. It has butterscotch chips, is so easy to make, and has all these amazing toasted flavors that come together for almost a perfect cookie in my mind. It's crispy on the edges, chewy in the center, and it is one of my all-time favorites. To start, you just need to brown some butter. I don't know if any of you are used to browning butter, but it is a tradition that I have grown up with. And I love using brown butter in a lot of different cooking, and I recently started baking with it because it's so delicious. Just put 1 stick of butter in a good kettle and set it on the stove over medium heat. As it slowly starts to melt, you can just kind of swirl the pan every so often. You don't really need to stir it, but just swirl it to make sure all the butter is melting. Soon the butter is going to start to bubble and foam. This is just when it is all melted and kind of the milk solids and fat inside of the butter starts to kind of bubble and almost boil a little bit in the heat. This is totally normal, don't worry. After a couple minutes, the foam will kind of subside and you'll just start seeing the dark golden color of the butter, and it may become a little bit more golden, and that's good. Just swirl the pan every so often, and soon you'll notice that the foam has completely kind of subsided and you're just left with a deep golden butter. When it gets to this point, you know it's soon going to brown, so just start watching it really closely. You'll see that the bottom of the kettle kind of has a light brown coating to it and some of these little floaties in the butter, and that's the actual milk solids, and that they've turned brown. That's when you get brown butter. It's really that simple. Once you get to this stage, which in all takes about 5 to 7 minutes, take it off the heat and just pour it into a small bowl. This is when you can really see that it has browned because the bottom of the kettle has the brown bits and the bowl itself. I like to make sure I scrape out all the brown bits I can because those are the flavor. Now set that bowl aside and let it cool until the butter has recongealed at room temperature. Don't stick it in the fridge, you don't want to make it hard, you just want it to be soft at room temperature. While the butter is cooling to room temperature, you can start to toast your oatmeal. I like using old-fashioned oats for this and not the quick cooking kind or the instant oatmeal. That just kind of goes down to nothing, and I like the texture of the old-fashioned in my cookies. Just place it on a pan and put it into a 350-degree oven for about 10 minutes. You'll soon be able to smell the oatmeal, and that is, I know, an odd step, but it really just brings out this amazing toasted flavor. You're really just building complex toasted flavors in these cookies, which is why I think they're one of my favorites. Once the oatmeal has toasted, just take it out and also set it aside so it can cool. It may take your butter, depending how warm or cool your house is, up to an hour to congeal at room temperature, but there's an important step, so make sure it does. You can even actually brown your butter the day before, night before you want to make these cookies, and let it sit overnight and then use it the next day. I often do that, and then I'm ready to go. Once your butter is ready, just place it into your mixing bowl. You can of course do these by hand or with a hand mixer, but I just love using my electric mixer. Also place in some brown sugar and some white sugar. Just beat that until it's kind of light and fluffy. The butter is soft so that it does not take long at all. And then you can just add 1 egg. I sometimes like to break it into a smaller bowl. I should do it every time. That way, if you get any little pieces of the eggshell, they go right into the bowl and you can see them before you put them right into your mixer. Let the egg mix in to incorporate, and then add a little bit of vanilla. A little bit of vanilla goes a long way, and this isn't a huge batch of cookies, so you don't need a ton of it, but it definitely adds a wonderful flavor. Then just a little bit of baking soda. That really helps brown the cookies and helps them spread out slightly. And just a little bit or a pinch of salt. You need salt in any baked good, so you make sure to throw that pinch in. Once that's all mixed in, you can just put in your toasted oatmeal. I really just put it in directly from the pan, and you can put it in any way you want, but with the mixer running, I just let the oatmeal go right in. Once that's mixed in, you can put in some flour. Let the flour mix in until it's completely incorporated, and then add one of my favorite ingredients, butterscotch chips. I love butterscotch flavor, anything, so I of course am putting butterscotch flavor in these. If you want, you could actually also add nuts, and that would be delicious too, but I kind of use nuts a lot, so sometimes I just leave them out because I know not everyone loves them. Once the chips are completely mixed in, you can just turn the mixer off, clean the beater off, and start scooping your cookies. I love to use these cookie scoops or small ice cream scoops to make them because it is just so easy. It's about a tablespoon size, but if you don't have one, you can just use a tablespoon and make rounds on your baking sheet. A parchment lined baking sheet makes this so much easier and to clean up a cinch. So just line a baking sheet with parchment and then put your cookies on it. Place them into your preheated 350-degree oven, and it just takes about 10 to 12 minutes. They'll just be lightly golden around the edges, and when you think that they're not quite done in the center, that's when you need to take them out. Oftentimes people overbake a cookie because they want to make sure it looks set in the center, but when you take these out, they're going to continue baking on the hot pan, so you want to make sure to take them out when the centers are still soft. Let them finish cooling on the pan for about 5 minutes and then remove them and put them on a rack to completely cool. Then you will be able to eat all these cookies like I do. I can't stop myself. They are the perfect texture. They have great complexity and flavor with the toasted and brown butter, and I really think they're going to be one of your favorites like they are mine. I am so excited to bring you these cookies this month, and I can't wait for you to try them. If you agree and love these cookies, make sure to like this video below by clicking the button like. And if you want to see more great videos from us, make sure to click subscribe so you can become part of the Great Boxwood family and see all of our new videos when they come out. It is so great for you guys to watch this video, and I cannot wait to see you guys till next time.